Welcome back. I'm Matt, aka the Doc in the Arena, the guy that will give you the medical take on sporting topics. And today we're talking Kevin De Bruyne. Now, for those of you who don't know, Kevin De Bruyne, Manchester City central midfielder star, unfortunately was injured in the Champions League final after about an hour, had to come off, and he's had some bad news subsequently. First broken-hearted, now broken-faced. A lot of people have seen the injury and have been asking me whether he's going to be fit for the European Championships, which start in just 2 weeks. So what I'm going to do, let's jump into the injury. I'll tell you what it is and I'll give you my opinion as to whether he'll be fit in time. As I always say, if you like this type of content, listen, just like it. And if you like it, hit us with a subscribe, join the community, join the party, nearly at 5,000, and we'll keep it moving. Right, so just playing it through straight, bang. Rudiger, that's a dirty challenge by Chelsea centre-back Rudiger. That's a dirty challenge. Let's see if I can find a replay. Look at that, bang. And then Kevin De Bruyne has to come off. I think there's another replay. I'll let that roll through. Basically, Kevin De Bruyne, he was blindsided and he smashed into the shoulder of Rudiger, hitting his face against the defender. So what actually happened? Thankfully, Kevin De Bruyne has given us the diagnosis himself, so thank you very much for that. He's tweeted it. Hi guys, just got back from the hospital. My diagnosis is acute nose bone fracture and left orbital fracture. I feel okay now. Now, left orbital fracture. If you've been following my channel, that will sound very familiar, and that's because I literally just did a video on a really significant orbital fracture that Billy Joe Saunders suffered at the hands of Saul Canelo Alvarez. So I'll put the link up there. If you haven't checked that out, check it out because I'll give you quite good detail of the anatomy and why it's such a big injury. However, as a refresher, I'll bring up my skeleton man for you. So he said he's injured his nasal bone. So I'll click on it there, left nasal bone, your nose, broken nose, and orbital fracture. So the orbit is basically this group of bones that help protect the eye and support the eye. So he's injured one of the bones in there. Likely his maxilla or his zygoma, so your cheekbone out here, I would reckon. Now, the question is, when will he be back? Belgium, by all accounts, I think they've got their first game on the 12th of June, so that's 2 weeks from the time of the injury. It is quite a tight schedule to get him back. Now, you see a lot of players play through broken noses with a mask, but this particular injury, with a fractured nose and fractured orbital bone, seen it a couple of times. Chelsea player Cesar Azpilicueta, he had this injury and he had to play with a mask, but he came back within a week. So that's interesting to know. I think that it firstly depends on how severe it is. So what the scans show, is the fracture actually big? Is there any signs of actual instability around the orbit as a result of this fracture? So is there a chance of the eye shifting or blood vessels or nerves being trapped from this fracture? If it looks stable, that's a good sign for De Bruyne. If his symptoms aren't that big, that's a good sign for De Bruyne as well. Looking at the research, it seems to suggest that in professional football players, in terms of risk and benefit getting them back on the pitch, it's safe and sensible to bring them back at about the 3-week mark. So that's from the couple of papers that I've looked at. That would mean that you'd miss the first group game and possibly the second group game. And that could be quite significant news for Belgium because he could be back after long they've been knocked out. He's one of the most important players in this whole European Championship. I have the suspicion that if he's feeling good and if he's able to take that decision, he's going to be back wearing a mask. And I think Mask De Bruyne has legendary status written all over it. Just coming out with a mask, those Bane vibes, and just running the tournament with a great team alongside him. The short answer is yes. I'm very confident he'll be back for the European Championship. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't miss a game because he won't be training and stuff at this period of time. But I've seen players come back from it. There's a long list of players that have played with masks and will keep a really, really close eye on it. As long as he's not having double vision or severe symptoms, I'm sure he's already kicking a ball and just getting himself in a good position. So there we are, just a quick one. Thought I'd jump on, give the update because lots of people have been asking the question. Stay tuned, much more content coming on the way. Follow me on the Instagram. And yeah, join the party, leave me a comment, ask me any questions, send requests, and I'll get those videos out for you. Other than that, you know what I always do. I drop the music. Where's it at? Yeah, I turn it up. And then I'll give you, the viewer, a salute. That's right.